All right. So last time when we was talking about Tana, we was at the early stage. Now I understand that you have made a lot of progress. I have made a lot of progress. So how about we share that with other people? So let's start with what is Tana?
Let's do it. Yes. I mean, I've been using Tana for a month. I think you have as well.
About the same time, yeah.
Enough to understand like what's happening, like what exactly is Tana. And
Yeah.
for me, Tana is the best definition for me is like it's a semantic workspace. So you can use typed specific semantic types and assign them to your nodes, which makes it really easy to connect things and to make sense and organize them into different categories. And each category can have its own workflows and its own data and structure for that specific element. So for example, meetings or people,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a different approach to organize those as you would have to organize Twitter threads or quotes or tweets or articles or anything. So Tana allows you to
Right.
So it's fascinating.
And for me, Tana is a notepad. It gives you an option to write one line, and when you press the next line, it creates a bullet for you. And the way I think is in terms of bullet, and many people think in terms of the bullet. So each line is a bullet, and you can indent it, unindent, and everything that you write in Tana is bullet. Then, as Felipe was saying,
right?
Outline, yes, outline. And then, as Philip was saying, that you can connect the tags to each of them. And then tag is a popular concept from very old days, from WordPress, from other tools.
Yeah, even earlier, like physical tags that you would put in boxes.
Right. And then OneNote provided that, Evernote does it. But most of these tools have a tag for entire one page. Tana allows you to tag each and every line, and you can have more than one tag in each line. So that, and then these tags are super powered. Like they have their own characteristic. That's where Tana excel, where you can define the tag to have the properties just almost like a database. What was you using before Tana?
I had been using Rome Research for 2 years before I got access to Tana, but not only Rome Research. So I used Rome as my central brain, or like as a nice analogy that Thiago Forte used, is the kind of the sun is the solar system. So your second brain is the solar system. Rome Research was my sun, with other tools rotating. So I used Obsidian, I used Notion, I used Task Manager. So like I used lots of different things in conjunction to Rome. So I was not only using Rome and then stepped into Tana, I was using kind of a whole spectrum of tools. So
okay.
Now I'm using Tana, and I stopped using a couple of other tools, but I'm still using additional tools such as the Apple Notes for capture, or Notion for collecting outside resources from things that I duplicate from other creators or things that I buy, and Obsidian for organizing my highlights from Readwise. So I'm using still.
Right.
Another there.
And I was using workflowy, which seems like a one-to-one mapping, especially in my case, because when I was using workflowy, I was creating one note for each day, and then I had a template, and then I was writing everything that happened throughout the day. For whatever reason, for me, the day planning is not enough. I can plan 5 things for the day, but I also want to track everything that I have done. It's a crazy idea, but that gave me a satisfaction that to just go back and see everything that I've done. So I have to go. Sometimes I just go in the evening and try to write the pieces. I like Things 3 a lot, but the concept of string theory is once you click something, once you check mark something, it's gone, right? They said you've done it. You're done with it. You go to the next thing. And I want to know I want to see those check mark items.
Yeah,
so
that's actually very interesting. I didn't think about it before, like that things literally disappears with whatever is done. And I mean, it's nice to look at what you've done. Yeah, it's a nice mindset, you know.
So with workflowy, I was able to do that. And then I loved workflowy, but the only reason I started looking at other tool because workflowy does not allow me to write the longer content. And I was writing a lot of essays, Twitter post or Medium article, and it was not intuitive to write in workflowy. So I started looking at other tool, and then I got lost in so many tools. With Tana, it's a very enhanced version of workflowy, I say. It gave me the basics of workflowy, which is like nodes and outline, and then the tag and the different ways we can use tag. And we will go deeper into tag, I guess, next. But that's where it started making magics. Also, the concept of today, yesterday, and how they navigate between those is also something that I'm liking. And for me to migrate from workflowy to Tana was easier. So that was kind of my journey. Would you like to show how you have set up your Tana and how do you use it?
Yes, I would love to.
Let's do it.
Okay, we're here.
It's okay, done. Cool. Yes.
So how I use my Tana is I would define two main starting points, and they are these two first elements here, which are the calendar and my yearly plan.
Okay.
So for me, it's very important to have a clear direction in life in general, and that will guide the way that I use my system in a way. So that's what the plan is here for. And I have it in I have a different tag for a year plan and month plan and everything. And like I also use quarters, like you, Vinod.
Nice.
So like I have a little hierarchy here, which goes from year to week, basically year, quarter, month, and week. So this is very important for me. It's where I plan my goals. And the next pillar, as we could say, is the calendar, which is actually like the way that Tana does its data structure. So you have necessarily this year node, which you cannot edit. You have the week nodes, which you also cannot change, and the daily nodes. So this is the clear.
But it seems like you have updated that tag to make it super tag and created your own.
I changed the name from day to DNP, which stands for daily nodes page or daily node page in Tana. And so this would be how I work. So for today, I have my own kind of structure for each day, and I would write my main goal in life. I would have 3 big goals for the day, no more than that. And sometimes they're kind of like smaller ones, which could go one beneath the other one. And so like this keeps me grounded. It's like a daily structure that I follow, and I would basically create a micro cycle, which is an idea that Cortex Futura gave. And it's pretty interesting because you kind of split up cycles of work. So this is basically a log in a way, kind of what I've been doing. So I was working on this thread on goal setting today before I hopped into some meetings.
I wanted to ask you, so you plan the day, right? That's in the morning, and then throughout the day.
Next day, I would plan the night before. So I would basically fill up the main goal in life, the big 3 goals, and I would open my life overview to have a...
And that's a linking kind of thing that you have done. some linking that you made there?
Yes, this is a link to the life overview node, which is inside the 2023 plan. So this appears in every day, basically. So it's happening since Monday.
How do you do that? In the we go
in the daily tag here, I added the reference, which means the A. So if I want to open up, for example, my content hub, I can press the @ and open the content lab, and I need to find like exactly the node which I want to open here. So
okay. So not the tag, but the actual node.
The node, yeah. So there are two different ways of linking things, which is a reference, which is kind of a link, only a link, and which I know the name in Rome, it would be literally a hyperlink, or you're replicating the instance somewhere else. So it's a kind of a block reference. So you're referencing the entire node, and it's literally contained in here, like totally contained in here, with everything that original node has, which is
with
this,
the functionalities and everything.
Yeah.
And content lab is one of your node.
Yeah. So the way that I organize my Tana workspace is using hubs. So I create this tag, which is a hub. So each hub has its own purpose. So the content lab naturally is directed at creating content. So I have a threads writer over here. I have a place for my newsletter, which I'm launching next week. Here is where I kind of define a problem, like I assign a category, I decide the hook, and kind of save it here for future reference. Like this is the latest thread that I was writing. I would basically create a brain dump, which doesn't need to be huge. Sometimes I'll write an Apple Notes and bring it over. And then from the brain dump, I'll create an outline. And sometimes I don't even fill up everything, and from here, I'll go to Typefully to write the thread. So I basically have the ideas here, and then I have an equivalent post over there. Sometimes I'll have maybe 3 unfinished threads over there, which I'll kind of come back to and write and develop further.
Man, this is powerful. This is awesome. You have been playing a lot.
I've been exploring and getting to know Tana and thinking about how I can teach it to other people as well.
I think there will be a lot more people soon with Tana. So you and I both are getting head started. So go back to today, which is where you are.
Right here.
So you got this. One of the questions that I had is in my workflow, I write everything. So it's 2:00. I will have an entry that 2:00 meeting with Felipe, and then if there is a note, I will write there for my future reference. So that's what I do. But in your case, it seems like all those goes under action Joes.
Yeah.
So how does it work?
So I work from the top down. So I define what are my use cases, what are my goals, like what are the systems that I'm going to put into place, and then I start building systems. So right now I have the projects. So I organize them into like a few active projects, which is kind of the launch of my newsletter, the Tana course, which I'm starting to build in public, and another course that I was consuming. I'm defining the projects, and then I will kind of go into the tasks or kind of outline, for example, the newsletter, which I want to launch. I kind of divide it into kind of overview with different tasks. These are tasks in a way, but I didn't tag them with task yet, but I use them as a reference point. So in my daily page, I'm still building this, but the idea is to have this kind of a log and maybe put in the times as well, but that's also not set in stone. Here's where I would kind of work. So
yes,
I would kind of create an instance of everything that I'm working on. And here, like below, this is basically the playground, like things that I create, or like elements that I create during work, like during knowledge work or during content creation, or working with quotes or thinking about notes. Then I will send everything to the notes page, to the daily page. So they're gonna start accumulating down here with different colors according to what I am working on. And so things are gonna start appearing in the daily notes page, even if I don't create them there, because I send them to the daily notes page.
What do you mean by send them to daily note page?
Yeah, I can show you. So I have a part of my newsletter is going to be a section with quotes. So I have this quotes database.
Okay.
And I have it as a list. I could put it as a card, probably a little nicer. So let's get an example quote. See. Okay, this one is open. So you cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him find it within himself, which is a quote by Galileo. And I would add a topic and a concept to each quote, which are basically my core entry points into my notes, which are the topics and the concepts. So like, what's the topic of this quote? It's probably learning, and learning is a topic and the concept. So I mean, there's not a problem there, but you can also put like the concept of teaching here, or
I see.
Well, knowledge could also be a topic. So what happens is, when I create these tags or like these instances here, they belong inside this quote by Galileo Galilei, inside my quotes database. So what I mean is, they're in the middle of an ocean, so they don't belong anywhere. So what I would do is I would hit the command prompt, and I would hit MO, so move to today. And by that, I'm send the notes to today's page. So when I open the today page, anything that I've created like in one of the fields, I'm gonna send to here. Just as you said, like you like to know when things are done, you like to see when you create things. So like, this is kind of it. Like every day I have a kind of an overview of different things that I've created, topics and concepts or quotes or notes or everything. So one of the concepts which I know has some notes is awareness. So if I hop into awareness, I can see where it appears has concept in like several different things. So I have a quote here, I have an evergreen note, I have a capture note. So sometimes awareness is gonna mean one thing, sometimes awareness is gonna mean another, and they are probably related somehow. But once you start building different materials, different notes here, you'll start to see how things connect by the concepts that they share, or by belonging to the same topic.
Yeah.
So it's a nice way to kind of go from one note to another. And I mean, you could even, like, that's a more advanced topic, but you could build a search which has which like uses a note as a starting point, and then finds any other notes which share the same concept or something. So
Felipe, that you and I both have used so many other tools, but none of the tool can do what this tool can do, with all these cross-linking, and within 3 clicks you go from a list of different topics to here with everything that you have captured in last few months. So it's fascinating how this tool is growing.
You use as you can see, like the last 2 moves I did, they were inside the references. So like if inside the reference I click into a note, I'm immediately taken to that quote, which has other concepts and other topics. So I can like click to another note, or I can go to the quotes database again, which is inside the references, and then from here I can go to another one. So I mean, it's endless possibilities here.
And I see that on the left hand side you have calendar, which is your day management, your plan, which is the goals and quarters and day plan, and
Yes.
then you have this FIS OS.
FIS operating system, which is where I would put kind of life design, and then the projects, the roles would be equivalent to areas in the para methodology. And then Action Hub, it's kind of a task management, Content Lab, and the Knowledge Garden, which would be the personal
Wait,
knowledge.
what do you mean by task management? Task management is your part of your day-to-day, your today.
Yeah. So here I actually have it separated in two things, which is a capture inbox and the tasks.
Okay.
So here's kind of an overview of all of the projects that I have with tasks. So I separate them by project. Then here I have the tasks that I assigned for each project. So I would prefer to create them inside the project themselves and then tag them as tasks, and they would appear over here. Or I'm probably building a version of inside my daily page, kind of before the action zone.
Yeah.
I would probably put a task list of sorts, which would be a search node to return tasks. I don't know yet if I'm gonna have assigned dates, like assigned to this date. If I would kind of filter by project, so I can have an overview of everything that I'm working on. But yeah, I'm still on the learning curve of using tasks inside Tana.
The most powerful thing is you select these three nodes, select all these three nodes and press Control Command Enter, and yay. You
can have collaborative workspaces. So
this is you and I together for last couple of weeks.
Pretty interesting, because this is bare simple, like bare minimum, but we could create all of these more elaborate kind of structures and super tags and everything inside a shared workspace. I mean, which could be amazing for a company and for a team who's working on different projects or content creation or collaborations or development or anything. So
even at the basic level, we had the agenda for today's call, and then we are collaborating and planning how the podcast look like next, which is what we are planning. So if any of you watching is interested to deep dive into everything that we have shared, then do like it, do add a comment. We are coming back with more information and deeper conversation around Tana, knowledge management, and productivity. Felipes, it was fun talking with you. I know you need to go. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, Vinod, thank you. Thank you for the forum and the opportunity to talk about Tana and to show a little bit of what I think about it. And yeah, it's been great.